Hello, everyone, and welcome to Awaken to Happiness Now. I'm your host, Shefali Burns. Thank you so much for being with us today. I really, really appreciate it. I'm so excited today to have my good friend Lorraine on the show with us. So, Lorraine, say hello.
Hi.
So, Lorraine is joining us via Google Plus Hangout. Plus, we're also on Instantel Seminar, so we can hear everybody, see everybody. So it'll be a fun, really interactive show today. So before we get started, let me just tell you a little bit about Lorraine. And I have to tell you, I mean, I have a prepared bio and everything, right? But I also, with some of my guests, I have a personal rapport, a personal relationship because we've done the show a couple of times, and sometimes when we do a show with a speaker, we get we develop a friendship, right, a relationship, and we really like each other. So Lorraine is one of those people who I have come to call a really good friend, and we really enjoy talking to each other and sharing our own experiences with the divine and spirit as well. So, that's why I just absolutely love to have Lorraine on the show, because she's so kind and generous and caring and compassionate, and the work that she does with our listeners and with her own community is so profound, and it comes from a space from the heart that is so caring and giving and compassionate. So I adore her. I love having her on the show, and I know you guys do too. And I know you'll be asking questions, because I know last time we ended up having a lot of questions from the callers, so we didn't do a lot of the energy processes. So we'll see what happens today. I said, we'll go with the flow. We'll see what comes up. We'll see what the listeners want, right? Because there may be something coming up for them. So yeah, I'm really like way off today, right? It's like I don't normally talk this much before I do the bio. But for those of you who may be new to Lorraine or even to me and this show, let me tell you a little bit about Lorraine. So Lorraine Cohen is an internationally recognized life architect, spiritual guide, and healer, a powerful inspirational speaker, teacher, and charismatic broadcast personality. Lorraine uses her extraordinary spiritual and intuitive gifts to empower her clients to transform fear, release their emotional burdens, and liberate their true self. For more than 25 years, Lorraine has assisted thousands of people worldwide to live a life that is awake and authentic, and to create a reality that is conscious, deliberate, and meaningful through her signature programs, teleseminars, workshops, retreats, and private sessions. As a popular broadcaster, she hosts the Compelling Conversations for Powerful Living series on business, personal, and spiritual topics with powerful teachers including Marcy Shimoff, James Twyman, Neil Donald Walsh, Gay Hendricks, Joan Borisenko. Why do I have a hard time saying that name? Borisenko, and many others. Her warm and engaging presentation style, like you'll see today, makes her a sought-after public speaker, media guest, and workshop leader, engaging audiences worldwide. So, Lorraine, like I said, welcome to the show again.
Hi. Always a pleasure to hang out with you.
So, Lorraine, today we're going to be talking about, what divine grace really is, how to shift from suffering to effortless effort, the truth about techniques and how to create real transformation, and how you might be blocking grace and unconsciously creating more struggle and misery, and what you must do to create a more joyful and soulfully vital life, and how to decode the new language of this golden age to receive abundant goodness into your life. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. I'm excited about where we're going to go and what we're going to talk about today.
Me too.
So, I think that the topic of our talk is called Essential Keys to Living in Spirit and Grace. You guys know what it is. It's on all of my email. It's on all of my Facebook posts and Google Plus posts. It's like, sometimes I forget what I'm talking about. It's like, what am I talking about here again? But so let's talk a little bit quickly, Lorraine, about you and how you became to be doing this work that you do, and which you do so well with thousands of people, around the world. So can you tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got started in this, and what exactly it is that you do?
Would you like me to answer that and then do a centering process, or?
Oh yeah, no, let's do the same. I'm so glad you're always on top of
I
this.
want you to lose your place.
All right, let's do the centering first, because obviously I'm not centered.
You know, I always like to start with a centering because we're all coming from, some of us are coming from work, some of us are just waking up, some of us it's later in the evening, and so when we can stop and take a breath and come together, it allows us to not only get more anchored in our body, it also invites us all over the world to connect heart to heart. So I always like to start with that. So,
Absolutely.
and that will help you.
For sure.
So, so what I invite everybody to do, obviously, please don't ever do any kind of a guided process if you're not able to be in a safe place where you're sitting or lying down. So with that, I invite everybody to just gently close their eyes and to put your attention on your breath. And as you breathe, bring that breath up from your belly, allowing the breath to expand your lungs and holding that for a count of 3. And then exhaling and allowing all the air to release from your lungs as you feel yourself softening into your body. Let's take another nice deep breath, bringing that air up once again from your belly, breathing into your lungs, holding it briefly. You may also want to give your body a little stretch. Stretch your arms, stretch your fingers, stretch your legs and your toes. We oftentimes don't allow ourselves to really stretch, and we find that we start holding ourselves in constriction. You might even feel a yawn starting to escape. And that's a great indication of starting to rest more deeply inside of yourself. It's also a releasing of energy. Connected to that. And let's take one last deep breath. And with this breath, holding that again for the count of 3, and as you exhale, have the thought of letting go of any burdens, any responsibilities, any heaviness or tightness in your body, any people that you've been carrying throughout the day or throughout your evening, and feeling all of that just lifting off your body, feeling your body soften even more. And just allow yourself for a moment to move your consciousness around your body, noticing where you may still be holding some tension, where your body might feel a little bit of pain or some looseness. You're doing wonderfully. And as you allow your consciousness to move around your body, imagine a beautiful connection with Mother Earth, the energies of the earth moving up the balls of your feet, as if you are being held in a gentle embrace by the earth, as it moves up into your body, anchoring you to the ground. Thought I heard my cat scratching. Excuse me for a moment. And now imagine a beautiful golden light starting at the top of your head and coming down into your crown. The energies of peace, the energies of love, moving into all of the cells of your body, blending with the energies of the earth. And feeling this beautiful connection of energy expanding through every part of your body, into your cells and atoms, into your muscles and your organs and your bones and your blood, so that there is no place within you that is not experiencing this beautiful energy of love, of peace, and of grounding to the earth. Imagine this energy expanding into your outer field, into all of the dimensions of your existence. And now imagine putting your attention on your heart and holding that intention of breathing in love and breathing out love. And as you breathe out love, let us imagine the earth being bathed in the frequencies of divine love and grace, connecting everyone on the planet in all of its existence, in all forms of life, animate and inanimate, connecting us person to person, heart to heart, soul to soul, including the divine. Breathe that connection in for a moment. That is so familiar. It is your natural state. And as you rest in this energy, begin by taking some deeper breaths now, counting within yourself from 5 to 1 or 10 to 1, whichever feels most comfortable, and bringing your attention and focus back into room awareness. Open your eyes, feeling alert, feeling refreshed, and feeling ready for what we will co-create together.
Yeah, I'm still yawning.
You're yawning, you're releasing.
Absolutely. Yeah, wonderful.
You know, I have to pay attention that I don't put myself under.
Or me.
I'm keeping an eye on you, Shefali.
Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, I definitely needed to center. That was good. Okay, so now we can really, in this space of being centered, being grounded even, and being together, being connected, now we can really start this conversation.
Beautiful. And you know what, I would just invite folks who have experienced the centering, feel free to keep your eyes closed or lie down so that you can be fully present with what we're talking about and not be distracted by looking at a computer or by doing anything that will divide your attention.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, for me, I need to, because
I know you do.
I need to multitask, but the rest of you, yeah, if you could just be totally present today during the show, that would be great. It'll help you. It'll help us. It'll be of benefit to all of us. Absolutely. Yeah. Try to just be present in this time and place with us, so that we can co-create a space that is healing and beneficial for everyone. And like I said, we don't know what we're going to talk about yet. We don't know what's going to come up from the audience or from me, even, because sometimes I have questions. So we don't know what's going to come up yet, but we'll see. Whatever it's going to be, it's going to be for the highest good of everybody.
You asked me a little bit about my journey. That's something that you would like me to share now?
That would be great. Yeah. Especially for those people who don't know who you are, right, Lorraine? Because there may be some people that don't know of you and your journey.
Sure. I think that's always a great place to start. Wow. How shall I condense this? Because it could be a very long conversation. I believe that I have always had some awarenesses. I've always been very intuitive. I have always felt a strong connection with spirit way before I even used the word God. There was always a sense of connection. And when my mother died in the early 1980s, that was a pivotal time in my life when I started to really commit to being on a spiritual path. And it has been quite a wild ride, Shefali. I could never have imagined where this path would have taken me. It's taken me through 2 breast cancer diagnosis, and having that be such a blessing for me, and a profound period of healing that I experienced without the traditional protocols. It has broken my heart open in so many ways to begin to understand what it truly means to surrender. It has guided me to doing the work that I'm doing now that I never, ever thought that I would be doing, and that is helping people to open and heal their hearts and to release the past, the burdens, the things that we carry around, even through your lineage, and to step into a very deep bond with this divine presence, and to allow that presence to move through you, with you, and as you, and to start living your divine destiny, which so many people, I think, are yearning for. So I do the deeper work that people who have the chops and who are really committed to living the most incredible lives and know that they've got to do the inner work and travel on the inner journey, because there's no other way that you can do it, and that's my area of expertise. I have been in the trenches. I'm coming out of another period of very, very deep healing, which has been profoundly freeing and astonishing and devastating in some ways, and yet I have never felt stronger or more inspired or more courageous or excited about the life that I'm being drawn towards. And I really hope that people who are on this journey, that you're willing to go the distance and also know when you need help, because this is not a journey when it comes to walking through those deeper paths. You can't try to do all of this by yourselves. We're not meant to. And that's also part of allowing yourself to know when you need help, not only from people who are in physical bodies, but also from the spiritual realm. So, you know, I think that will give you a little bit of an idea of who I am and where I'm coming from, and I think that you'll also get a better feel for me during this conversation, where my passions are. You agree?
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you. And you know, I'm glad that you shared with us that you've been through the trenches. You know, you've gone through a lot, and that you work on your own self all the time. You know, so it's
every day.
Yeah, exactly. Because that, you know, that just
yeah.
It just shows that, you know, you are walking the walk, talking the talk. You know what we're going through, because, you know, I mean, we're all going through something, you know, heartache or challenges, you know, in all areas of our lives, right? I mean, you know, I would love to say that my life is perfect and that every day is perfect and glorious. You know, you should have seen me yesterday. I lost it completely lost it. I mean, it was scary how badly I lost it, right? So it happens.
And that's part of the human experience, and also learning how to navigate those without shutting it down so that it pops up at a later date, and also understanding that there is a blessing in these experiences. They're not negative, they're not bad, but we are so accustomed to calling our meltdowns and our periods of despair as bad experiences, and that also has to change, because sometimes the only way that we can have these deep breakthroughs that we want is to have deep breakdowns.
Mm-hmm. And you know, one thing that came out of it was I realized how how much the people that love me must really love me, because after yesterday they didn't have to. So it's like, wow, you know, they still love me after all that. It's like, wow, interesting.
Yes. They love you.
I can laugh about it now.
Messy.
Yeah, it was a scary day, let me tell you. But yeah, we are so supported, and sometimes we, you know, sometimes the stuff that we go through, we don't realize what it actually is. You know, for me, and it's, you know, you guys who are listening and are watching may be going through this as well. But sometimes, as you know by now, I feel energy intensely, right? Because, you know, on these shows, I'm always yawning and releasing, and it's like, you know, yeah, I'm feeling that, you know, so I feel a lot of energy. So there's a lot of energy that flows through me, and sometimes there are certain channels that are a little blocked, a little bit stuck, and then I experience pain, physical pain, but that is so when I have that physical pain, I have to step back and say, okay, you know what, I'm not going to be angry about the pain. I'm grateful because the energy is flowing through me. I'm aware of the energy flowing through me. I can recognize that that's what it is, but sometimes sometimes I lose it, right? And so when there's a lot of flow, you become a really powerful person, right? Everything about you can become quite pronounced and powerful, right? So I need to calm my emotions down sometimes. Yeah. So it's like, interesting. So no judgment, but just being aware, right? And so a lot of life that's what it's about. It's about being aware, and then next time it won't be so bad. Next time you won't react so strongly.
I would just say you will react however you react. And if you blow, you blow. And if it's intense, it's intense. We are learning how to be real and authentic. Where we can get stuck, and this is a very tricky place, and I really encourage people who, if you find yourself at times where you feel stuck with emotions, this is a really, really important point. There is a time when the telling of the story, what we're feeling, what we're thinking, what we're experiencing, what we're feeling, is important. What we have become habitual in is retelling the story over and over and over and over. And when we do that, we are actually giving it life repeatedly. The key is to have whatever it is that you're feeling, and then rather than to go into a mental process or a verbal dialogue, is to simply rest in the energy and don't fight it. The more energy you give it, it's like throwing logs on a fire that will continue to inflame. Every time we start talking about it, we create more suffering. So the key is to do absolutely nothing, like you're going to float on water. And when you don't give energy to something, it will begin to fall apart, just like a fire will go out. And then you can begin to redirect the energy towards what it is that you want. Because a lot of times when we're getting caught in something, we're really anchoring in victim consciousness.
Yes.
And when that happens, rather than to judge this victim, the inner victim consciousness is a pathway to your courage and to taking a stand for what you want. So then you get to tune into what is it that I really, really want, and to direct your energy into your passion rather than feeling imprisoned by your mind. And this takes practice. It takes awareness to be able to recognize where you are when it's happening. But the more that you jump in with a technique to calm yourself down and shift where you are, is like taking a broom and moving stuff around the room. You're not going to release it that way. And I tell you this from 30 years of working with clients and having told them to do all those kinds of things in the past. But in this energy that we're in right now, moving into higher states of consciousness, that won't work.
Yeah, trust me, I didn't use any technique. I just blew the gasket. And then, blew the gasket, cried, and all that wonderful stuff, and yelled and screamed and cried, and then I did talk to some wise people, who, luckily I was going to their place afterwards, so luckily that helped, and so after that I was better. But it's like, wow, it's like, really, it's like, wow.
When you don't resist, when you don't fight, and you actually just go with that energy, that is divine grace. Grace will come in when you let go. When you fight, you will end up exhausting yourself, and grace will come in, but that's after you have finally gotten to the point where you stop fighting. So you have a choice. You can create suffering, or you can just let go, or you can do a combination of both and not judge yourself, if you go into that battle position, because that's just a habit. We
Yeah.
need to forgive ourselves for that. We're dismantling programs and automatic responses that have been ingrained for decades and centuries. And it's going to take gentleness and compassion with yourself to understand that you are undoing a lot of stuff that you have been programmed from others and that you have also come to believe. And like anything else, it's just going to take some time.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I didn't judge myself, thank God. You know, I'm good about not judging. But I did a combination of, you know, I don't know what, but whatever it was, it's like, you know, and then, you know, sometimes then I blame it on, oh, it's still Mercury retrograde. It's the energy flowing. It's, you know,
It's all of that too.
It is.
Solar flare.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. For those of us who are super sensitive, you know, it's like, yeah, it could be anything and a combination of, right? So I just wanted to remind everybody, it's star 2 to raise your hand if you have a question for Lorraine, which we already have a question for you, Lorraine. And or you can submit a question on the Q&A. I'm feeling the energy actually quite strongly because, like, you know, I'm sweating. It's like, and I'm always cold, right? So it's like, the energy is definitely flowing. It's partly because of the emotions, partly because of the centering that we did, you know, Lorraine, and partly just because we're all together in this space, you know, that we've co-created, right? And it's a safe space, but it's highly charged. To say that.
And we're also feeling the energies of the divine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm hot. Yeah.
I know you're hot.
And you know, you're right. You mentioned something about story, and I didn't go into the story because, you know, sometimes there's no point. You know, it was yesterday, it's gone, it's over, it's done with. But I just wanted to share that point about there's a lot happening right now, and even those of us who are supposedly, you know, public figures and so on, we still go through stuff too, right? And we're still working on ourselves too. So we are constantly working on ourselves, right? So it's a process. You know, we are a work in progress. You know?
There is no done. This is the rest of your life. So to look at anyone who you feel is a leader, we are all leaders and students at the same time. We are continuing to grow together, and we are continuing to process every day.
Every day. Absolutely.
Yes.
Just ask my daughter every day. She gets the brunt of it. It's like, oh, poor thing. Thank God she's with me. Okay, so we're going to take a call from Florida, area code 727. And Lorraine, you're going to have to keep track of time because the way that I have my computer's monitor set up, I can never quite see the time. So it's like, we'll just go with it. Okay, area code 727 in Florida. Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hello, hi.
Hi, who's this?
This is Mark.
Hi, Mark. You
Hi,
have a
Mark.
question for Lorraine?
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing real well, Mark. How about you?
Doing pretty good. I've known I've had gifts for a long time and stuff, and I trust my intuition, but I've been like seeing a lot of signs, and one of the signs like today was to better develop my intuition, and I kind of don't know. I've always just trusted it, so I don't know how to go about developing it.
So what I heard you say, Mark, is that you've always trusted your intuition. Yes?
Yeah.
And do you feel that it was your intuition that was guiding you to develop it more?
I would say like numerical signs and stuff like that. That was from a sign that I had seen today. It says develop all my gifts and abilities, you know, for myself as well as helping humanity.
So do you devote time every day, let's say for contemplation or meditative practices, spiritual practices to connect with your soul, your spirit, the divine, whatever your name is? Do you make that a daily habit?
Yes, like in the morning, I'll say my affirmations when I'm at work. You know, I put my meditation music on. I'll listen to it for a couple hours. When I get off of work, you know, I'll listen to it for a couple hours, and then I try to listen to these calls that come on.
Okay. And when you're listening for a couple of hours, are you doing anything, or are you closing your eyes, or are you being quiet?
And I usually just sit there and be quiet for the most part, but sometimes, the TV's on during kind of like the whole process, but I really try not to focus on that.
So meditating is when you get quiet and there's nothing else going on. Otherwise, your intuition is trying to get through to you with all that racket. You understand?
True. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so what's really important, and it isn't so much that you do this for hours and hours and hours, because I can tell you, Mark, I don't meditate for hours and hours. What I do is I turn everything off. I put on some music because I like music. I close my eyes, and I just invite whatever is wanting to come through. So that can be a place for you to start. One of the things that you can always ask for is to be shown how to develop your intuition. And one of the ways to do that is to make a direct request of the divine. I really want to develop my intuition. Teach me how to do that. And look for some of the signals for how your intuition talks to you. And it can be different for different people. Synchronicities, when something just feels right and you don't know why. Messages that repeat in your head, or just an idea that comes up, or a resonance. The more that you act on your intuition, the more you will naturally develop it. It's like a muscle. The more energy and attention that you give it, the better you will get at it. But it's really important that you're not trying to do all of this connecting with the divine like a multitasker. That's not to say that God won't meet you anywhere. God will meet you anywhere you are. But if you want to open up the pipeline for some information or inspiration to come through, then it's like anything else. You have to be quiet enough to listen. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I know when I, meditate at work, I can sense that the divine's around because I got a constant grin on my face. Just this morning, my sister was pointing to my niece, pointing over towards me, and I had a big smile on my face, and I told my sister a little bit later, I said, when I smile like that, it means, the angels and the divine's around.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But to develop a stronger muscle with your intuition, create quiet space so that you can listen. A lot of inspiration comes to me in between meditation. I'll be very honest with you. I get inspiration and nudges throughout my day, but I am so used to paying attention to my intuition, and have for decades. And I get inspiration when I'm taking a shower. A lot of people do. So what I would just say to you is just increase some of your quiet time, and some of the examples that I gave you of intuition. And if you have a strong desire and a passion for your intuition to increase, ask for help from the divine to help you do that. Doesn't have to be any more complicated than that.
Okay. And that's the kind of things I've been trying to figure out. I'm trying to understand everything because I've been having a lot of positive thoughts as well as visions, and a lot of positive things I've been seeing in my dreams for past over 2 months now. Just You know, trying to stay slow but comprehend everything at the same time. You know, and try to balance everything out, all the energies out.
I would encourage you to let go of trying to understand everything, because then you're leading with your mind. Just trust that whatever
Okay.
you're meant to understand, that you will grasp that, and be paying more attention to your intuition and your inner guidance. Start leading with your heart and your soul, and let your mind follow, not the other way around.
Good point.
Yeah.
No, I believe. I mean, I've always lived like that, but you know, I'm just coming back to getting back out of my mind, back into my heart again.
Yes, we are
And I've always been
all
a strong.
working on that. We're all working on that, Mark. So thank you for the work that you are doing, and that, you know, play around with those suggestions, see if they resonate with you, and just be open to be curious and let go of the need to know.
Okay. Yeah, that does resonate with me. You know, 'cause I've been trying to make it down to the park, but I gotta make a conscious effort to start. You know, just going down there that way. You know, 'cause no, there's no noise down there. I can just meditate in silence. And I'm
That's
grateful for you guys. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to learn what I'm learning.
Thank you, Mark. That was a great question.
Mm. You know,
Thank
this
you.
is, thank you, Mark. This is
Thank you. I
definitely,
appreciate it.
oh, it's our pleasure, Mark. Many, many blessings to you. This whole shift in living in the spirit of grace is like being a stranger in a strange land, where we're learning to distill information in a different way that we're so used to trying to understand something and grasping new information and relying on our thoughts and our process of coming to understand things, that we can easily negate our instincts and what resonates. So what I'm continually doing in my own life and guiding my clients to do is to tune into your heart first and let your mind initiate the practical functioning of the ideas and the inspiration that you get, because we are still navigating this physical plane. And when you lead with your heart, when you lead with your soul, it doesn't necessarily bring in any of those practical steps. So it's a marriage between the two, but it's a shifting of position, because we've been living so much from our head first, heart second. Now it's that shift, heart first, head second. And it takes a degree of awareness to realize how we automatically shift into thinking and trying to figure things out. That's a time we need to stop and go within, because all of the answers that you seek are within. We need to stop going to our mind for the answers it doesn't have.
That's true. And I'm a mental person, so I'm always trying to figure it out. It's like, okay, what would be the best thing to do? It's like, and then I get stuck. And it's like, oh, I don't know what to do. It's like, oh, I don't know, nothing's working. What should I do?
I know who I'll ask. This presence that has created worlds. Yeah. I bet that presence knows.
I have been, lately I've just been sitting in meditation, and it's like, you know what? I don't know what to do. So please guide me, give me something. I don't know. So we'll see what comes up.
Something very, very important that I would love to mention, Shefali, and that is, and all of these things that we're talking about is what I consider to be essential in living in the spirit of grace. I have been getting a lot of nudges to rest. We are moving so fast, and our our physical structures are being dismantled and upgraded. And a lot of people have no idea that this is going on, but for those of you who are sensitive to energy, you're probably feeling a lot happening. This is something that we talked about at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about what you need to process, what you're putting in your body, the amount of rest that you're getting, not pushing at things, resting more, turning things over. My life is so different from the way in which I used to live it, where I was very, very driven. And there are days when my guidance says to rest, and I can feel this deep exhaustion that my mind would say, well, why are you so tired? Because it's not like you've been doing a whole lot, but I'm doing so much processing that you need to step back and let your body integrate it. And to truly be in partnership with the universe means that what flows into your life is not always dependent on your hard work and your efforts.
Right.
I'll bet some of you have had things that have come into your life that have been unexpected and surprises, hopefully delightful surprises that wasn't because of something that you did. Where do you think that came from? Maybe it happened when you surrendered and you let go and you allowed the universe to bring goodness or experiences into your life to help you have breakthroughs so that you would have the best life ever.
Absolutely, and that's the challenge for me, is the surrendering. You know, it's like, okay, time, you know, I can't even say the word really. It's like, okay, time to surrender, really? It's like, but yes, that's what I've been trying to do, and, you know, trying. So I don't know if I'm how well I'm succeeding at it, but I'm becoming more aware of that. So it's like, okay, I'll just surrender.
Surrendering every moment, every moment. It's so interesting to notice when you become aware that you're in resistance. When I say you, it's a general you.
Yeah.
That move into resistance. How we are not surrendering at all. We think we're surrendering, but we're not surrendering. We got a finger, we got a toe on it. We are not letting go because that can feel dangerous. It can feel threatening. It can feel foreign. It can feel uncomfortable. That was one of my prayers. I think I had shared that in a prior conversation, that I had asked to be taught how to surrender.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's been interesting. I am getting better at it.
And, you know, and that's the thing. It's like even Lorraine, who teaches about surrendering, she's getting better at it. So she's still doing it. She's still, you know, day by day, she's surrendering. And it's a work in progress.
I haven't mastered anything.
So I have a question on the Q&A from Carol, and it's about, she wants to talk a little bit more about the unending inner victim role that some people are carrying and playing, and how to deal with it when that is where they are stuck, and it is pretty much the only dialogue they have, and there is a requirement that they be in your life, and they are totally resistant to being anything other than the victim of the century and compete with others about whose victimhood is the greatest and most horrible story. I've tried to shift me with success, and sometimes it is less successful in dealing with them. Oh, absolutely, Carol.
So, Carol, I'm going to say this to you very lovingly. One of the challenges that we have is witnessing the spaces and the states of other people, especially those that we care about. You do not have the power to shift anybody out of anything. And so what you're experiencing is a state of helplessness. What you can do is understand that whoever it is that you're hoping would shift out of that place of victim consciousness, that they're getting something from it. And until they get fed up with wanting to live differently, you have to love them where they are, and you have to let go of wanting them to be somewhere else. One of the biggest challenges that we have as human beings is allowing people to be who and where they are. There are times when our presence to come and help is purposeful and it's timely, and there are other times when a person is still getting something from being a victim. Victim consciousness is very, very compelling. A person doesn't have to step out. They can hold themselves back. They can feel sorry for themselves. They can allow other people to do things for themselves. They don't have to step out and make any kinds of mistakes. They might be afraid to own their own power, or they may just feel that there's a certain comfort in staying in that identity. You have to love people where they are and just let them know that you're there, that you care for them. I'm sure that you're probably doing that. And if you have dropped little hints about what's possible, you don't know what they've received or what they haven't received, and whether there is a timing to when they will get to a point and say, I've had enough. And they may or they may not. And there's nothing more than you can do. You've got to let that go, or you're going to create suffering for yourself. I know that's hard to hear.
Absolutely.
You don't have the power.
Yeah, we can't change anybody else. We can only change ourselves. And even that is sometimes really difficult, right, Lorraine?
Yes. Yes. and what I would also say is the people who push our buttons the most by what we witness is an invitation to also look at our own relationship with victim consciousness. So where you feel the most agitated, when we can shift somebody else, a lot of times it's really more about us than it is them. If I can shift you out of feeling like a victim, then I don't have to watch you, I don't have to listen to you, I don't have to deal with this drama that you're creating. And if I have any victim consciousness that's still strong in my life, I don't have to look at that either. So I would invite you, Carol, to also get very honest with yourself. I say this to you lovingly, and ask yourself, what is your relationship with victim consciousness that may exist inside of you, and how do you feel about that? Can you love that as a part of yourself and use that energy to move forward? Because there's many ways that we can transform that energy into being something of a higher consciousness without judging or labeling it as bad. I hope that was helpful.
I think so. Yes, for sure. And then she's also asking. She commented back again. She said thank you already, and she had another question about actually receiving. I've finally chosen to actually receive, and I ask you for suggestions to change the dance with people in my life who have been there forever, and also the collective. It seems when I am not giving money, attention, time, my ears to them, and over-accommodating them, they're not there for me when I request them to be, and it's very painful. And she said, thank you about talking about the processing and the resting thing you just talked about, and the surrendering. You know, all the stuff we're talking about is so relevant, right?
Well, you know, one of the reasons why I'm talking about this so much is because I'm learning this myself every single day, and I think it's pertinent to share this information because I don't think a lot of people really talk about it. And as far as if I understood Carol's question, that it was more about a balance of paying more attention to what's going on with other people and not allowing other people to be there for her.
Yeah,
well,
when
first,
Go ahead.
First, what I would say, are you surrounding yourself with people who are capable and willing to support you in the way that you need? The reason I'm asking you that is folks who are used to being the givers are often put in a position of being the go-to people and can surround themselves with people who don't feel as competent, so that when you actually reach out to those people, they're not really at a place to meet you where you are. So that would be my question. Are you allowing people who can really be there to love and support you in the way that you need? And if so, do you ask them for what you need, or do you expect them to know?
And sometimes that's it. We just expect them to know, and we don't ask for what we need.
Start asking for what you need. And sometimes people need to be taught how to support you. What is supportive for you may not be supportive to somebody else. And we can make the mistake of assuming that we all feel supported in the exact same way, and we don't.
That's true. Now, what about if they're not capable of giving support?
Then I would not encourage you to go to those people. It's like going to an empty well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then that's a great time to create space for some other people to start coming into your life. And if you do need the support and you don't have that from friends, that's a great time to get some professional support, because those are people like myself who know how to show up. And that's also part of being self-loving, is getting what you need when you need it. And that's also about being a good receiver. I don't walk this journey by myself. I can assure you. I have coaches and healers that I work with. I'm capable of doing a lot of self-facilitating, but I don't want to all the time. I want to be able to just let go, get out of my own way, and put myself in the hands of people that I trust to help me process. I would not be this far in my life if I have tried to do this by myself. And to me, that's a viable investment that is worthwhile.
Yeah, and sometimes we can't heal ourselves. You know, we can do a lot of stuff on our own, but there are sometimes deep-seated issues that we just can't reach because we're too close to it. You know, we're too attached to it, and we can't take a step back and look at it and, you know, do whatever needs to be done to let it go, because we're too attached to it. We think that it is still protecting us or supporting us in a way that we need. You know, whereas, you know, we may have outgrown it, but we just can't see it. I mean, I have coaches that I go to, I have healers that I go to on a regular basis for my stuff, because let me tell you, there's a lot of stuff there, you know, that I've been working on for a long time, and, you know, sometimes you can't do it alone. You know, it's easier sometimes.
We're absolutely not doing it alone. I work with acupuncturists. I go for massage. I see a chiropractor. I work with healers, and in every process, I work with the divine, because that's where all the healing comes.
So speaking of the divine, do we have time to do a guided energy process?
Let me see.
We promised them one or two.
Put my glasses on and look at the clock. Do you have any thoughts about what you might like this process to include?
Well, I really like what Carol was talking about the victimhood. You know, that, you know, we sometimes can become victims, you know, for sure. I know I was yesterday, I was becoming a victim. So something around that, and also support, receiving support, feeling support, being supported by the divine, by the universe, and by all of our, you know, like Mark was saying earlier in the call, he has angels and guides around him. So, you know, to actually know that we are supported. Maybe that's a lot in one shot.
Yeah. It is a lot to kind of put in there. So let's see what happens. What I would like to also ask, if there are, you know, for the people on the webcast and for the people who can raise their hand, if you would like me to do a process of grace with victim consciousness, if you would raise your hand and just write yes on the webcast, and let's just get a consensus. Are you open to do that?
Sure, yeah.
Real fast.
Yeah, and so just raise your hand, start to raise your hand to say that yes, you would like to have that process. or write on the Q&A webcast, just say yes, that you would like to have that.
I already feel something bubbling.
Yeah. So sometimes the Q&A doesn't come in right away when we want it to.
Right.
But we have quite a few people with their hands raised saying yes.
All right. Thank you for responding. I wanted to really create something that was going to be supporting you. Okay, so let's just take a moment. Just tune in. We do this on the spot, so we'll see what comes out. For those of you who are sensitive to energy, you will likely feel the presence of the divine in this process. So begin by gently closing your eyes, putting your attention on your breath as you did before, breathing as deeply as you can, bringing that breath up from your belly, feeling your chest open and expand. With your exhalation, letting go of whatever is ready to be released, whatever is not serving you anymore. And focus on doing 2 more cycles of deeper breathing. Feeling yourself resting more deeply in your body. Letting go. Inviting your mind and your ego to move to the side, to also rest. Feeling your body beginning to soften. Feeling more and more at peace as you rest even more deeply inside. Imagine in your mind that you are walking on a beautiful country road. It's early morning. The air all around feels clean and expansive. There is a gentle breeze in the air. You can feel that moving through your body. The sky is a brilliant blue. You can see or sense some of the dew on the grass all around you. The sun has just begun to come up, and it looks like it's going to be a glorious day. The sun is welcoming you. As you continue to walk on this garden path, you begin to move into a beautiful open area that is surrounded by trees. And in one corner is a magnificent waterfall cascading down over the rocks into a clear, beautiful pool of blue water. You take a breath and you can breathe in the clearness of the air. This is a sacred place. There is a familiarity in your heart to the energies of this place. It is a place that is sacred, that is safe, that is just for you. You see or sense beings all around this area smiling at you. You sense those of the higher realms who have come here to witness and support you. Some that you know. I have a sense of the Archangel Michael, the Archangel Raphael, Kuan Yin, Isis, Mother Mary, Metatron, and some who are very special in your heart, all gathering in tribute and honor to you. The energy in this space is full of love. You may have a sense of your own personal guide. You stand in the center, and all of those that surround you are beaming love into your heart, like gentle streams of golden love coming into your heart. With each breath, you breathe that more deeply into your heart and in your body, as these energies of love fill every cell and atom like little love drops. Can you feel it? Now, directly in front of you, a presence has appeared, a presence that has felt separated from you, that has been in some degree of pain and suffering, that has been stuck in a consciousness of victimhood. I invite you to welcome this presence, this identity into this circle. And to look closely that all it has ever wanted or needed was to feel loved and a sense of belonging. That in some ways it has tried to protect you, and that it holds a wisdom from its own experiences of life that can benefit you. This part of you can help you to recognize when you need to set boundaries, when you might be in danger or may make a choice that will lead you down a path you will regret. This presence has a wisdom from its experiences about people and life that can help you in your relationships, so that you are always connecting with the people that you want deeply in your life. There are gifts that this presence has. And can you now welcome this consciousness into your heart and into your life, and to move into a higher state of expression, to promote this part of yourself to utilize its wisdom and its blessings in partnership to help you create your greatest life. Can you love this part of yourself so that it can transcend and be more of what it can be with your help and with your invitation? And notice how these celestial beings are beaming love into this identity to support its transcendence. And notice any strings or cords that might be binding it to a lower vibration. And if you are ready, ask the Archangel Michael to cut those cords, those that can be cut today, to allow this presence to free itself from the past and to move into a brighter present and a limitless tomorrow. And now, if this feels right to you, open your arms and invite this redefined, reborn identity into your heart. Welcome its wisdom and its strength and its power. Breathe that into your body if you are ready. And now you sense another presence coming into the space, a blaze of glorious light, the energy of love in its purest form, smiling, applauding you at your courage and your willingness to open your heart. This spark before you now exists within you, as you, and through you. Invite this presence to wrap its arms around you and to hold you in an embrace of divine love and grace. You are a child of the divine. All of you is magnificent. You are not broken. You do not need to be fixed. You are now and always have been created in perfection. You are now and always have been the essence of love, of abundance, of light. And now feel this company that is gathered around you, blessing you, thanking you for your courage, your willingness, your passion, and your commitment to your journey, to your path of being relentless and committed. You may take a moment to thank them for their blessings and bless them in return as they begin to depart. And now see, sense, or feel the divine taking your hand and walking with you out of this healing place that you may return to anytime you wish. Beginning to walk down that garden path once more. The sun is higher in the sky, celebrating you as you continue to walk hand in hand with this presence that loves and adores you, that you are the center of its universe, is with you always, now and forever. With each step that you take, you feel your energies beginning to come up, and when you open your eyes at the count of 5, beginning to count from 5 to 1, be within yourself. At the count of 1, open your eyes, feeling alert, refreshed, connected with room awareness, and feeling the presence of the divine with you in your heart. Take a deep breath and welcome back.
Wow, that was beautiful. Wonderful. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I think we did everything.
We did. I wasn't sure. I mean, you know, I think I'm going to say one thing and then I end up saying something else. So you know that it's all being channeled, and this is the kind of work, you know, Shefali, that I love to do, and it's in the audios that folks will have a chance to take a look at. They're all processes, all individual, so that you can create shifts and experience some of that deeper healing and allow this deeper connection with the divine. I felt that very, very strongly. And, you know, when I had the sense of the company, the gathering, I had such a deep sense of great joy and appreciation for everybody who is willing to participate in processes like this.
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful. And, yeah. It was wonderful just to feel the energy, feel the support, feel that love, you know, feel the presence of the divine. You know, it was beautiful. Yes, absolutely. Just absolutely loved it. That was great.
One comment that I want to be sure that I add is whenever we do processes where we let go, we are capable of recreating what we let go of, because there are some fears or there are some things that are happening subconscious. So there are times when we have to have those cords cut more than once. So just know that if you find that you've done a process where you have done some releasing, you may be releasing it on one level and there's another level, or you may have pulled some of that back. Please don't judge yourself or make yourself wrong in any of this. This is a journey, and we are doing the best that we can in each moment. So celebrate yourself, and if you find that something that you're working on seems to have come back or you've gone deeper, just bless it and go in and do the work.
Absolutely, yeah, good point. You know, and because sometimes people think that it's all gone in one session, and then when something comes up again, it's like, what? I thought I dealt with this. You know, it's like, why am I going through this again? But it's a deeper layer, you know, different level, you know, and yeah, and each time though, when we do work on ourselves, you know, sometimes we're not ready to completely release it. You know, like our higher self, our inner knowing knows what is best for us at this moment. You know, so we have to trust that, you know, as much that was released today was released, and you know, and then move forward. And then if something else comes up, say, okay, well, I guess there's a little bit left over. No big deal. I'm ready to let go of that now, you know?
Exactly. And that is really the best way to walk on this journey, is to let go of, I thought I was done with that, or getting upset. All that will do is create suffering. If you truly can stand in that space of, every person and situation is in service to my growth and healing, everything that comes up in my awareness is an opportunity for me to let go, to heal, and to shed, and to not go any farther than that. to just let it be there, the way that it presents, you will move faster into grace. Once you start going into struggling with it and judging it and labeling it and getting frustrated, you will create suffering. And this is part of what we're learning to undo. Just say thank you. Okay, here's more. And you know, like when I was talking about having a breast cancer diagnosis twice, I had pulled some stuff back. And there was something that I needed to work with. And once I released it, I released it. And if I find at some later date that there's something more, not necessarily that will translate as my creating cancer, it will not come up with the same intensity. And the more that you just become that welcoming place and realize that it's just energy that is coming up to be released, then you will be much more loving and much kinder with yourself in this process, and you will release it much quicker.
And that's a key point about being loving with ourselves.
Yes.
Instead
and
of
there
judging.
are times when I'm in the midst of moving through a process and I'm comfortable, and I say, give me more, give me more. Give as much to me as I can handle, and just keep breathing into it and resting into it, and you will release it. The better that you get at working with the process of moving through these experiences without resistance. I actually have something that I teach people called the grace process. And I have found that the more that we work with this kind of process, the more easily we can move through these experiences. That's not to say that I don't have meltdowns. I promise you I do. And so I do. There you are.
Absolutely.
Even
We're
as
human.
I know.
Yeah.
I think
okay, so yeah, good idea. Have a drink of water or something, because when I'm going through a meditative process or a guided process or energy process, I always have to have water afterwards, just to, because I still have to function, right? I'm still trying to be the host, and everything. So it's like I'm still functioning.
Lots of hydrating is very important. It helps to flush things out of your body, because the last place that we release is in the body. So yes, resting. These may not seem like these are intense processes. They are.
They are. Yeah, I always feel them. Yeah, they are. Yeah, so we should talk about the special offer. And I know, Lorraine, it's slightly different than what we've had before. So if you're on the webcast live page, you can just click on speaker special offer. If you're on the phone or somewhere else, you can go to awakentohappinessnow.com/Lorraine4. Yeah, it's awakentohappinessnow.com/Lorraine4. And I'm going to, I thought I opened it up. I must have closed it. I'm just going to open it up again just so that I have it as well.
I think I'm going to do that as well. I just need to find it.
awakentohappinessnow.com/Lorraine4.
Actually, I should probably go there.
Yeah.
Awaken to happiness. Oh, I can't spell. Now, /Lorraine4.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Our
see.
loud type. We're such loud typers.
Oh yeah, right. All right, I didn't get there. Okay.
Well, it's the link is also in the chat box here, Lorraine. If you want to get it from there, in the Hangout.
Let me go look. It's always helpful if I can look at what I'm talking about. Oh, is it there?
Are you in the chat?
I don't know. Where I am.
Oh.
Okay. So anyway, whatever. So,
item 1, coming home to your heart.
You know what? I don't want to go through every single one of these quite honestly, because then you and I are going to be talking probably for the next 10 minutes, and I know that people are so brilliant that they can just go ahead and they can read. The important thing that I am really wanting to put out to you is this. If you have resonated with what you've heard me talk about, and you feel that you want to create a really extraordinary life, and you are ready to do some of these breakthroughs, a little bit of what we talked about on this call today. These are very, very specific kinds of processes, very similar to what we're talking about now, but they're really going to help you to release a lot of pain from the past, to open your heart. When you look at some of these, they're not very long processes, yet they're very powerful. There's a lot of healing that you will experience, and the more that you listen to them, the stronger you will get, especially if you're dealing with loving yourself, if you're dealing with courage and a lot of fear, if you're holding on to a lot of stuff from the past. The 2 new recordings that I added is the Divine Alchemy of Love, which is a heart healing teleseminar. It is with my good friend Michelle Mayor, and it's almost 50 minutes, and it is very powerful with the 2 of us creating this very high vibration, intense process that is so gentle and so loving. And I just a few hours ago, I wanted to give you something very special. I spent like 2 hours doing editing. I gave you a second bonus, which is called Connecting with Your Sacred Heart and Soul. And it's a beautiful process to help you center with the divine and connect with your heart, with your soul. And it's a wonderful way to start your day, especially if you enjoyed the centering that we did earlier. This is more layers of that. It's just a beautiful, beautiful process. And I have even made it in a specific configuration so that you can get it for $97. And if you'd like to have a private session with me, which I would love to work with you, if you'd love to work with me, then you can get that by checking package 2 for $167.
Yep.
So I'm really excited about this configuration, Shefali. I've never done this before, and these are the best of the best. These are all divinely guided.
So I've been sharing this screen just to show people what the MP3s are, and yeah, I've listened to a few of these tracks myself because Lorraine has shared them with me in the past, and very powerful. I have to say, I think I did the Crystal Pyramid Color Healing and the Courageously Living Your Divine Destiny. I love them. And I think there was another one that I did.
Through the Eyes of Love.
Yeah, Through the Eyes of Love. Yeah, absolutely. Very strong, very powerful. And yes, you're right. I like the fact that they're not too long. You know, like they're, maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes, which is perfect, you know.
They are not full of content with me talking. You will move right into processes, and you will create shifts. You will feel shifts, and they have a cumulative effect. The more that you work with one, let's say repeatedly, you can fall asleep to it. It will go deep, and you'll be able to really let go of a lot of stuff on a subconscious level. That was the purpose of this. I spent a lot of hours editing this and really working with the divine to create this, and this is my most powerful package. I have changed it slightly because it's that good, in my opinion. It's probably one of the best things that I have ever done.
And you know, and then that's what it's about. It's about, you know, releasing some of these things that are stopping us. You know, we're stopping ourselves from really living the life that we want and came here to be, right? So these processes will help you to let go of some of that stuff that's still holding us back. I mean, I still have stuff that's holding me back, right? So it's like, you know, so check it out. The again, it's at awakentohappinessnow.com/Lorraine4. That's awakentohappinessnow.com/Lorraine4, LORRAINE4. Wonderful, Lorraine. That was beautiful. You know, I always feel a little spacey afterwards, right? Because I just love being in that field, in that state, and in that space, you know. So then it's like I just want to stay there, and my voice changes, you know. I'm calmer, I'm more relaxed, and it's like, yeah, that's, you know, it's fun. It's a nice space. So the more and more we can do that and be in that space, the more connected we will be to who we
Yeah.
truly are and to the divine, you know, and then be able to actually hear or see or perceive the guidance from our angels and guides and so on.
Yes. And the more that we're able to do that, really leading from our heart and from that sacred connection, the less we'll be sabotaging our efforts by trying to do certain things and figure things out. Or, you know, anytime you're going through any kind of a shift, there's a lot of transition, and transition is really the psychological reaction that we have to change. So having some systems and of support, regular practices, things that help you to stabilize when you're going through any kind of a big change, the people in your life who are guardrails for you, your children, your animals, all these things will help you to move through these periods with much more ease and grace, because anytime we're letting go of something, we're creating space for something new to come in. So if it's feeling a little uncomfortable or scary right now, you're ready for this. Trust that. And follow your guidance. It will lead you home. It knows the shortest route to get you through. And whatever it is that's coming up, even if you don't like it, if you can bless it and not fight with it, then you will be able to receive the blessings from those experiences and also be of service to other people who will need your help. You can't guide people to move through their own narrow places and their own discomfort if you don't know how to do that yourself. So for those of you who are in service, there has to be people who go first so that we can then turn around and help the ones who are behind us. And because of the incredible work that you do, by prioritizing your own journey, the people who will follow you will have an easier time. So thank you for that. Thank you for making this your journey a priority, for having the guts to come on to calls like this, and for taking a stand for yourself and for the world. Your courage will not only transform your own life, it will begin to create heaven on earth. And that's what we're doing.
Absolutely. Wow. Well said, Lorraine. Absolutely. Yeah. Whew. I got nothing after that. That was wonderful.
So I'm thinking that maybe this would be a good time to send a blessing, and we can kind of end on that. Is that what you're thinking?
Fantastic. Yep. Absolutely.
Oh yes, we're right on time. So I am going to be tapping into my connection with the divine. I can already feel the energy starting to come through my hands. I am sending the energies of divine love and grace. All you have to do is just welcome it, just be open to receive. While the energy is coming through, I'm going to be silent until the energy transmission is complete. So just be like a sponge and receive. Take a breath and just breathe that in. Feel the energies of the earth coming up the balls of your feet once more and anchoring you to the ground as you breathe this blessing into your body, into your heart. May it expand out into your energy field, on your multi-dimensional being and all time, states, and dimensions. And so it is so, it is done.
Wonderful. Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome. I added that grounding part for you.
Yeah, I need it. Thank you.
I hear
Yep.
you.
Wonderful. Beautiful. Thank you, Lorraine, so much. This has been such a blessing. You know, today we received, you know, I think more than like 3 different processes. One, the centering at the beginning, then that guided process, and then this blessing. But even in between all that, we were still feeling the presence
Yeah.
of the divine. So thank you so much for that, and thank you again to the callers and people who submitted questions in the Q&A. Thank you so much. It gives, like Lorraine said earlier, it takes courage to, you know, prioritize yourself and ask questions, because what you're doing now is helping everybody. You know, the greater consciousness, you know, is expanding because of your choices that you're making today. So thank you for that. Wow,
The
thank you.
whole world is family. That's, you know, underneath all of the facades and the identities and the masks that we wear, we are connected heart to heart and soul to soul. So if we can hold that space of being the voice of love, being the presence of love as much as we can, then we will transform the world, and the whole world truly becomes family, a one world community, and that's what we're heading towards.
Mm-hmm. Yep. More and more, and you are all a part of it, and you're all making a difference. So thank you.
Yes.
All
Shefali,
right. Well,
thank you for always inviting me on to these, and I love hanging out with you. So thank you for your commitment and your joy at bringing these kinds of conversations to be available for people who are wanting and needing them. So I honor and I bless you for that. Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, it is my joy. I really enjoy it. It brings me so much, so thank you everyone. And I'm still in this space, and I'm going to stay in this space for a while. So I invite you to stay in this space as well, as long as you can, because it's beautiful, right? So I'm just going to say, continue to live your life filled with joy, peace, love, abundance, and happiness, and space. Feel the space and be in it. We'll talk to you again soon. Have a great night. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Namaste.